All right, how about this? Sham Sharanya says 76ers All-Star Ben Simmons is currently not mentally ready to play for the team and was receiving treatment on his back today due to the ramp-up process. He will miss Friday's home opener versus the Nets, and he is not expected to play for an undetermined period of time. Listen, this is one of those stories that just keeps adding different layers, taking different turns, dips, all kinds of things going on with Ben Simmons. And to help us explain that and other NBA stories, we got a guy I've been a fan of for a long time. His name is Michael C. Wright, does work for NBA.com, NBA TV. Michael, let's just start here. What's going on? What's going on with Ben Simmons, and how do you interpret the latest twist in an ever-twisting story?
I would say, bro, your guess is as good as mine on this. But like just the fact that he's saying he's not mentally ready, that's a little alarming because from what we've seen so far, you haven't been mentally ready since the playoffs, since what happened in the playoffs and everything. And man, for this dude, I just really, I don't know if I feel sympathy for him, but he's in a situation where he is about to blow the bag because he got his feelings hurt. I mean, let's just be real and let's just break it all the way down to, its core. It's about you getting your feelings hurt, man. And this is the thing. If you're, as they reported, if you're willing to do whatever you have to do to get out of Philadelphia, well, what you got to do is you have to go and be engaged and you have to go ball out and you've got to show everybody that, you've got some trade value. You got to show the whole league this. And so right now, I just wish he would just kind of face the music, so to speak. You know what I mean? Swallow your pride, go rejoin the team, go ball out, show everybody what you are. I mean, when we talk about Ben Simmons, it's almost like he's not what he is. This dude he's been an all NBA guy. He's a good player. The only problem is he needs to work on the jump shot. That's it. But you can compensate for everything else with other facets of the game, your defense, your pass, and all those things. And, he's more than capable of doing that. Dude, just man up and handle up, as we say in Texas.
Well, listen, I love that, but I'm wondering how do you handle it if you're Philadelphia? I mean, you think about where they are right now. Everybody, I feel like, has played. It's probably the worst chess game ever. Like, you look at both participants and say, okay, what are you doing? And yo, what are you doing? That's a terrible move. That's a terrible move. Let's just start over. For Ben Simmons, his chess move was, hey, I don't want to get fined, I guess. So I'm going to go and not participate where I still lose money. I'm going to show up and lose money just like I could have stayed home and lost money. So I didn't accomplish anything except make my reputation go down even further by showing up, which I didn't think was possible. Then on Philadelphia's side, they're sitting there and they're holding on to this player whose trade value goes down daily because of the stuff that he's doing. So what's the next move in this worst America's worst chess game? What's the next move and who makes it?
Well, you know what? I think it's a waiting game. I think that, obviously Daryl Morey and the Sixers, they, as an organization, they've got to make sure that they get the best value that they can out of Ben Simmons. Well, Ben Simmons obviously is not helping the situation. And, Mike, you've been in the media game, long enough to know this, that when you're in these kinds of situations, it sort of gets played out in the court of public opinion. All Ben has to do, show up, ball out. And then when the media ask you questions about your situation, you can say, hey, I don't want to be here, but I feel a sense of accountability to my teammates and my coach. Like, he just do all the right things. And this is the thing. It's not like Ben Simmons is getting bad advice. You telling me Rich Paul doesn't know what he's doing? I guarantee you he's telling him to do the right things.
I don't know, Michael.
I do not believe that Rich Paul is giving this guy bad advice. I think he's giving him the right advice. But again, you're talking about a young kid. His feelings are hurt. And that's the way he's playing it. And you can't make these decisions based off emotion. Michael, how many times has an editor, a producer, somebody in management done something to sort of hurt your feelings? But you were not going to jeopardize the bag because you got your feelings hurt. It's not happening. And so I think that's what we're seeing right here.
Man, speaking of that, they're telling me right now that I suck. I mean, like in my ear right now, it's like, you suck, man. But look, I'm gonna keep going anyway.
Right.
But you're right.
Look,
you can't take it. You can't take it that personally. But I think here's a lesson. This is a basketball coaching lesson. This is a business operations lesson. In any business, it's a parenting lesson. And I think for Doc Rivers, and you can't go enable and then switch to I'm gonna be the hard ass. You can't, because wait a minute. Ben Simmons knows you as a guy who's going to protect him at all times. Now you're saying, hey, Ben, you got a contract. Okay, where was that? I mean, where was that last year? Where people were questioning Ben Simmons and Doc was coming in, caping up for him. Hey, you guys don't know basketball. What am I supposed to do? Bench Ben Simmons? Then when he actually tells the truth, the guy he caped up for is now saying, well, wait a minute. You're my protector. You can't be like it never works out. In other words, it doesn't work out. You just figure out, tell the truth, and let the chips fall. And I think Doc has learned that lesson now.
The hard way, man. But maybe this is a situation where it sort of backfired, because let's be real, most alpha males, most professional athletes, when you hear something like that, you usually go the other way. Okay, that's right. That's how you feel about me. So now I got to go out there and work my ass off this offseason and show you that I'm more than what you say I am. And it just sort of went the other way with him. And it's interesting when we break it all down and look at it. But at the same time, when he was coming out of the draft, 2016, these were some of the knocks on him. That he didn't necessarily love the game, so to speak. It was more about the lifestyle. Like there were criticisms even all the way back then. These are not new. And so, if I'm Ben Simmons, I want to prove them all wrong. Like, man, let me show you what I am. And the thing is, again, Ben Simmons is not a scrub. The dude can play, all NBA, all-star type guy.
Yes, he can.
Okay, just show it. That's all you got to do. If you really want out of Philadelphia, go out there and show them the player that you're capable of being. And then, now the Daryl Morey and the organization, they can go and make that trade that they need to make the organization either maintain or even be better than they were, before they got rid of them, whatever the case may be.
Michael, when you do the show by yourself, you can say all kinds of things without any kind of pushback. So I'm talking all my trash. When Michael Smith's not here, I'm talking about him behind his back. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. All right, so now you're here to kind of be the speed. You can slow me down a little bit, because I've already anointed Giannis as the best player in the league. I've anointed the Milwaukee Bucks as a dynasty. I've said Brooklyn is not going to win the championship. I've said all kinds of stuff. So now, just set me straight. When you look at the best team in the NBA and the best player in the NBA, give me some names, counter some of my nonsense.
I really can't. I'm just being honest with you, because just like everybody else, going into this season, I'm like, okay, even without Kyrie Irving, the Brooklyn Nets are the best team in the NBA. They're the favorites to win the championship. Then we see the opener. In Milwaukee. James Harden has to watch Giannis get his ring. And I'm sure he did not like watching that. But when you watch that game, Giannis played like a guy that ain't won nothing. He played like a guy that is not a two-time MVP, not a champion. This dude was relentless going to the basket. And, I've said this in the past, and I'll continue to say it, that I'm a big believer in momentum. And the momentum that Giannis generated during the playoffs. If you remember, this dude's at the free throw line. They're counting him down, trying to throw him off his rhythm. By the end of the playoffs, that was almost like comfort food to him. He's like, the crowd is counting down. Once they get to 10, he's like, okay, I can shoot it now. And he's hitting it. So there's that momentum just from last season and all that he did. I mean, it wasn't like he was just scoring points. This dude was making plays defensively that were just out of this world. And so, I think that Giannis and KD are the favorites to win the MVP. Again, going back to momentum. KD, okay, you saw how he played in the playoffs against the Bucks. He almost single-handedly brought them back or whatever. And then you saw what he did in the Olympics. That's momentum. He's going to carry that into this season. He's fully healthy. He's another year removed from that Achilles. He's going to be fine. Brooklyn's going to be fine. Brooklyn's going to be competitive. Those are the two favorites in the East. But, right now with Brooklyn, they've got to figure out the lineups. I'm sure you saw some of the rotations and some of the lineups, and you're looking at it like, that don't make much sense. But I will say this.
Right.
I've stayed in contact with LaMarcus Aldridge throughout, like, since he retired or whatever, because he was here in San Antonio with the Spurs. So we've developed a relationship. And one of the things he's always told me was that one thing he loved about playing with Brooklyn was that all those guys sort of have a chip on their shoulder. At some point or another in their career, they've all been doubted. You talk about Blake Griffin in LA with the Clippers. He couldn't get it done. James Harden couldn't get it done. Kyrie can't get it done without LeBron. KD can't get it done without all those other guys at Golden State. So they've all sort of that chip, that just that belief that hey, we've been doubted our whole careers. That sort of galvanized them, and I think that's one of those things that sort of just kind of we don't put as much stock into it as we should, because I think that's something that can kind of help and carry them, and like I said, galvanize them going into the season.
Man, I don't know if you can see the screen here. Well, that graphic that we just put up, Gary, put that up again. You want to talk about the most disrespectful stuff? Now, I agree with what you just said, but man, okay, here's your GM survey.
10?
Who's the champion? Look at Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's
Come
disrespect.
on.
That's disrespect.
Now you want to talk about a chip?
Yeah, that's disrespect.
Man, I'm mad. I'm mad for them.
Holiday, Chris Middleton, Giannis, Brooke Lopez, Bobby Portis, they ain't having that, man. So yeah, that's 10%.
And they went through some adversity last year. They had some adversity. Look at this.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
that's amazing. Is this like the most recent?
Nets and Lakers, by far.
This is
Points
disrespectful.
Yep. Points bet.
But you saw how they came out, Michael. They go get them rings, those big old rings that they could wear as medallions. They get the big rings in the ring ceremony, and they go out there and, like I said, they played like they hadn't won anything yet. And so when you see that, if you're a Bucks fan, I'm sure that's really encouraging, because those guys are still hungry. They are not complacent. They want to go get them another one.
Hey, man, and speaking of another one, you got to have another brother from another appearance. When the other Michael is here, Michael Smith, we can have three Michaels. We can talk ball. We can talk about all sorts of things, man. Really glad that you took the time to come on our show today. And I look forward to talking with you on the air and off the air, Michael, because as I said, man, you do great work, and I've been following you for a while. So really good to catch up with you.